We've seen individual pieces of data, like a string or a number. These are great, but Python's capability to write powerful programs is maximized when we can work with something called containers of data, which contain other data types and even other containers. So let's introduce our first Python container, lists. A list is a data structure in Python that is a mutable, ordered sequence of elements. More on the mutable ordered part later. This code defines a variable, months, which contains a list of strings. Each element in the list is a month of the year. A list is defined using square brackets and always holds other data which are separated by commas. This data could be a mix of any of the data types you have already seen. Lists have an order, or more appropriately, are ordered. We can look up individual elements in the list by their index. We can look up values in a list like this. We type in the list name, followed by square brackets, with an integer indicating its position, or index. Notice that the first element in the list, January, is located at index 0 rather than index 1. Many programming languages follow this convention, called zero-based indexing. If zero-based indexing is confusing, consider it this way. An element's index describes how far the element is from the beginning of the list. The first element is 0 elements away from the beginning. The second one is 1 element away, and so on. We can also index from the end of the list rather than the front like we've been doing so far. To do this, we use negative indices. For example, we can get the last month of the year. The index -1 refers to the last element of the list, -2 to the second to last, and so on. Note that while 0 is the first index of the list, -0 is not the last, which can be a bit confusing. If you attempt to access an index in a list that does not exist, you will get a list index exception. This is Python's way of telling you that you are trying to access an index that is not in the list. Since the index 25 does not exist, we received this error. Getting index errors is quite common, especially if you're not used to indexing in Python. You might get these errors quite a lot in the beginning. The most common reason for getting an index error is using an index that's off by 1. But there may be other reasons why you would get such an error. It is always a good idea to use the print function and debug with a small example. This can tell you if your indexing is off and by how much.